Hello everybody. Today this is a comparison video talking about the difference in execution time between animation nodes and geometry nodes. We often say that geometry node is faster in instancing, even compared to Blender itself, like the particle system or hair system. But we never know how fast it is. And it's not, especially when it compares to animation nodes. It's not like animation nodes which provides an execution time data. So we do not really know how performance is our geometry nodes. So I was making a tutorial and I suddenly come up with an idea. We can actually try similar kind of things and to see if it works or not. So basically the idea is I'm going to instance in the object and then I'm going to hit the render button. Because the render button will calculate all this kind of geometry. So the render time will reflect the time it takes to executing node trees, calculating mesh, and so on and so forth. So here is a kind of very simple setup. Just to notice that this is the, I probably would say, in my knowledge, this is the fastest way, or the most fast way to instance in the object. This is not this is different from the regular object instancer method. So I'm instancing 200,000 objects, and the execution time is about 400 milliseconds. But this is not only all of it, because we're also instancing objects. So it's apart from the animation node execution, it's also associated with how Blender handles instances in its normal method. So because this is actually a Blender instancing method in which you're using the instancing. Okay. So here let's just hit render button. So let's render the image. Freeze. Okay, now that's finished. And it takes about 8 seconds. Okay. So please remember this number. It calculated one frame, it takes 8 seconds. Okay. So, and just to notice, actually the kind of viewport is already kind of lagging a lot. And the execution time has been updated to 200 milliseconds. Sometimes it's just, it jump up and down with a confidence interval. Anyway, I'm going to disable this animation node tree. So I'm not going to use that completely in my render. Another thing is that I'm going to enable my plane. Actually, I'm going to kill this. I'm going to set the instances to no. Otherwise, this is all. Now everything, my viewport is running much smoother. And then I'm going to kill these parents and disable these targets. I do not want to see that anymore. So I have a sphere and a sphere transform. Now hit back. So I have this sphere, and I have a plane that holds the geometry nodes data. This was actually a product from the tutorial we will discuss later, but it's not a point. The whole point is that actually, if I disable these everything. So now what I'm actually doing. So let's take a look with our objects point distribute, and we can get a point cloud. And to know the amount of what we're instancing, it actually takes about where's the end? It takes about a similar amount, okay? Because this was made intentionally, so they basically match still like 200,000, okay? And then we basically do the same thing. Am I actually open up everything? So yes, now everything is enabled, plane is enabled, the sphere is enabled, okay? And then I'm going to hit the render button. Kind of a long time. Seems longer than I expected. Huh? Previously speaking, it takes about 3 seconds. So I think it's faster. But let's take a look. It takes 12 seconds. How's that possible? Huh? Wait, what? Am I actually doing anything wrong? Huh? Because the animation nodes is definitely not being executed. You can actually delete them as well. So I have no idea what's going on. Wait. That's not a good spoiler. Previously, I actually added all this kind of point separate. So the actual amount of instancing might be a little bit different. But I did not actually expect this thing to happen. So it's actually not making it faster. So basically the same speed, or actually slower. Is that really true? That's a bummer. Wait, now it's actually okay. Why? Still 12 seconds. Okay. Well, originally I was going to say that it's faster, but now I have no idea. Oh, there's also execution being run. So let's disable this as well. Maybe this causes problem as well. I have no idea. Actually, I cannot really tell. Now I'm actually very screwed. Come on, you're kidding me? Oh, Jesus Christ. Not improving. I think this is kind of fair comparison. There is definitely some number change, like geometry node is instancing about 1,000 more objects, like 1,500, and then it increased 4 seconds. Do you think it's kind of fair? I'm not sure. I'm getting confused. Okay, but this is the result. I definitely understand this is not a really fair comparison, but I think this is the best I can do. So, continuing from the last part of the video, actually I suddenly come up with another possibility or hypothesis. So firstly, let's just in case you're still thinking, okay, animation nodes might still be executed and interfere with the geometry nodes, I'm going to delete this node tree. So I'm going to remove this entire node tree, remove node tree 2, remove node tree 3. Okay, so I removed everything. There's a shit. I should not actually click these buttons. This is so bad. The reason I accidentally clicked this is because actually my viewport is actually lagging a lot. So now we really do not have animation node tree at all. And then let's click the render button. And you can see it's extremely slow, like 13 seconds. Not very different from what we see previously. Actually, even slower. I have no idea what's going on. Okay, so once we finished that, and I suddenly come up with a hypothesis about why it's slower. I'm thinking because we're using the array modifier. Okay, array modifier might be evil. The reason I'm doing this because this was a byproduct from the tutorial and so on and so forth, and I would like to distribute the stuff in volume. But what if we do not use this array modifier? So we can actually take away this array modifier and just to do this point instance on a plane. This is not really kind of a good idea because instantaneously we're actually having only 4,000 objects in total. So I'm going to just increase the counts extremely large. Where's my so now this is becomes a 400. Okay, so I'm going to delete by actually I'm getting confused. So because we're taking the density, so now it becomes 200,000. We need to increase a little bit of count. I'm not sure how much we should increase. Okay, improving closer. So now 220, not really true. Good idiots. So just So now I think this is kind of close. And then we're trying to instance. Okay, click this render image button. So everything is good. Still freezing? Even longer? Wait, what? Still 12 seconds. It's not improving anything. So array modifier is actually not slowing our geometry nodes down. Wait, but we actually decreased the amount by 1000. But it's still taking 12 seconds. Why? So it's actually not faster. The whole problem is not only the whole point is not only between animation node and geometry nodes, because as I showed you earlier, the actual way I'm instancing, the fastest way of animation node instancing is not to actually use animation nodes. Animation nodes only distribute the points, but the actual methods that's being involved is actually this instancing on faces. It might be even faster if I'm instancing vertices, because the animation node is creating faces, not vertices. But I actually can definitely do so, but I didn't do that because I would like to deal with orientation and so on and so forth, which face provides, but the vertices do not provide. Anyway, beyond all these kind of problems, we do see a surprising result, because I'm kind of shocked. I definitely think the geometry node should be faster, but it doesn't. But it isn't faster. I'm not sure exactly why. Maybe it's just it should be slow in this case, but I don't know. If you find any, if you come up with any hypothesis, please let me know, because this result is surprising to me. So I don't know. I cannot say I hope you enjoy this video, but anyway, I hope to see you next time.